So coming from Reuters, Trump administration seeks to supercharge U.S. AI exports with billions in financing, document shows. Now, to be clear, when I start talking about this, if this was a different period of time, I would argue that this would be a bit of a nothing burger. It might be a good nothing burger. You know how sometimes you're munching on a nothing burger and then you realize, ooh, it's got some bacon and avocado. This is actually a pretty good nothing burger, right? In a different time period. If it wasn't 2026, if this was 2024, this would be like a nothing burger with bacon, avocado, and a little garlic aioli on top. You're like, oh, that's. I mean, I didn't think I wanted a nothing burger today, but this is a pretty tasty one. The issue, though, is it's 2026. 2026. So you know what that means. Oh no, this is just hot crap in between two buns. And you are expected to finish all of it and smile as you do. So anyways, basically with this, what the U.S. has had for years, God knows how many years, 100 years, more than 100 years, part of our industrial policy in the United States is we provide things like financing, insurance, loan guarantees, that type of thing. So folks in other countries can buy our products from our industries, right? So let's say, we really want to make sure that Caterpillar succeeds. So Caterpillar creates heavy industrial equipment. So let's say maybe there's some mine down in Chile. And so what'll happen is the US government will basically give guarantees for loans so that the mines in Chile can buy, tens of millions of dollars of Caterpillar equipment. And this is, again, as I've said before, pretty much a nothing burger. You can argue about this around the edges, like a Rand Paul could argue about where should the American government put its money, right? That's a very valid argument, but this is the type of thing, basically almost all countries do. The idea here is, let's say there's a mine in Chile. They need to take out a loan in order to buy this industrial equipment. But for whatever reason, banks might be cautious about loaning money to Chile. They might be worried that there might be like a coup or something there. They might be worried that there might be an economic crisis, right? The federal government looks at it, says, that's most likely not going to happen, right? The federal government can say that's probably not going to happen. We feel confident. So what we're going to do is we're going to backstop the loan. If there is a coup, if shit does get nationalized, whatever else, look, the bank will be made whole. But we want this to happen. It is more important for us, for Caterpillar to sell us equipment. That gives, our citizens jobs and the whole nine yards. And that's the kind of thing that, again, that's happened for God knows how long. The problem is right now, like, the whole AI industry is a bit of a disaster. I mean, I feel like to call it a crap show is to insult crap. Really, like, it's just, as I've said, we have a $2 trillion IPO for SpaceX coming in 2 or 3 weeks from now. We have OpenAI trying to IPO for $1 trillion. We have Anthropic that's going to try to IPO for $1 trillion. We're going to have an article I'm going to talk about later. Oh my God, like, these Wall Street people are talking about trillions of dollars of annual investment into artificial intelligence. And it's all just too much. It's all just too much. My argument here is not about vector databases or neural networks or any of that kind of stuff. It's just this, the money component of this is absolutely idiotic. And the problem that we're looking at is we're coming to the point where it has to collapse, right? Whether you had the dot-com bubble and bust, right? Whether you had the housing bubble and bust, whether you had the canal bubble. Again, something that people don't really think about in the modern world. There was a canal boom. Yeah, remember the canal? No, it was like 200 years ago. Like, there was a canal boom, right? Canal was the technology of the era, and they were just building canals everywhere, and people pumped lots and lots of money into canals. And then the railroad happened, and the canals became obsolete really quickly, right? And so the issue right now, we're in this bubble. But the thing is we have the Trump administration. So if we were in a sane world, what should happen is in the next year or so, this bubble should go boom and all hell should take place. Basically, all of our systems, all of our economic systems should rationalize. House prices, the price of houses should get a 50% haircut. If we lived in a sane world, house prices would get a 50% haircut, right? Equity prices, stocks and all that would take a massive loss. All of that kind of stuff to refigure out where the economy should be. The problem we have right now is that basically whoever is in office, the president that's in office during one of these economic disasters, generally gets blamed for the economic disaster, whether or not they're actually responsible for it, right? And the issue is with Trump is he doesn't want to be blamed for anything at all. So if we are looking at an economic disaster coming down the pike as the AI bubble goes pop, as it should, what can the Trump administration do to keep the AI bubble going till maybe he's out of office? One of the things that he can do is try to convince people in other countries to buy our crap so that they keep buying all of this AI hardware. We backstop that with loans, or we backstop the loans. So we don't even necessarily up front have to pay very much money, right? You know, Saudi Arabia or Chile or Argentina or whatever, they take out the loans. We just backs if the loan fails. Well, here's the thing. The loan's not going to fail next month. Loan's not going to fail 6 months from now. Again, if you're Trump, you want it to fail in, March of 2028 or whatever, right? And so basically we have I have this concern of essentially the Trump administration is trying to pump up the AI bubble at about the exact same time. Everything should go to hell. And so using this type of mechanism is a way to do that. We see this under the Biden administration. To be clear, I hate everybody at this point in time. I have Biden derangement syndrome and Trump derangement syndrome and Obama derangement syndrome at this point in time. But right, under the Biden administration, we had COVID, right? The most severe economic supply chain shocks like in 100 years, all of that kind of stuff happened. Basically, what should have happened is that there should have been less money around. People should have not been able to buy everything that they wanted to buy. That would have relieved pressure on the supply chain. People would have been able to figure out what's actually valuable in life and what's not valuable in life. Supply chain and the industry and all that would rejigger itself, and we would be in a better spot right now. Instead, what the Biden administration did is print cash. They just printed so much cash. But they printed so much cash at the exact same time the supply chain was a complete and utter disaster, which basically is what pushed inflation absolutely through the roof. And that's one of the problems we're having right now with all these presidents, is none of these presidents want to be blamed for what should have. This is just a natural the boom bust cycle is a natural process. After the Great Recession, when I was sitting there trying to figure out my head, what was going on in life, I like reading books. I've talked about that a lot. I'm always reading a book about Lawrence in Arabia right now. Very interesting. Anyways, I sat there for the entire summer after I shut down my business and just basically read about boom bust cycles. And that's the interesting thing about the American society. In the United States, basically we have a boom bust cycle that is generally somewhere between like 8 to 12 years. 8 years is a short boom bust cycle, 12 years is a longer boom bust cycle. We've now been in like a 17-year boom bust cycle. So when I talk about the economy going boom, I dislike what Trump is doing. I disagree with many things that Trump is doing. Even if Trump did none of that, our economy still should go boom. Like, this is just how our economy works. But what happens when the president gets in there and they can do whatever the hell they want in life and they can print cash and they're just not going to let things go boom. So anyways, that's my complaint with this. That's my concern here. The Trump administration on Thursday plans to launch a new program to entice foreign firms to buy U.S. AI tools with billions in export financing, according to a document seen by Reuters, as it seeks to beat China in the race to expand worldwide use of its technology. And so as I've talked about before, that's the whole thing. When you're thinking about going out there and buying a product, right? It's all about options, right? I might prefer NVIDIA, but if they don't allow me to buy NVIDIA, I'll buy Huawei. That's just how it is. So basically what's happening here is since China is, winning, just gotta put that on the table, China's winning. So as China is winning the AI race, right? The whole question now is, what do we do? And so one of the things we can do is we can put money on the table. Hey, buy our NVIDIA stuff, buy again, the American tech stack, and we will basically simply provide you cash in order to do that. Right? And so if you're a cash-strapped company, right, you're always going to be a cash-strapped company. You're looking at it, you're like, look, I don't know, America is bat crap insane right now. China has a more sane policy, but if I buy the Chinese AI stack, I have to swipe my credit card right now. If I buy the American tech stack, they swipe their credit card. Ooh, you mean I get this equipment and you swipe your credit, right? That sounds like a good deal. And so that's how we're trying to win this race. So yeah. The U.S. Export-Import Bank is expected to approve the plan later on Thursday to provide financing for foreign purchases of American artificial intelligence tools, according to a one-page description. Under the program, which follows through on an executive order signed by President Trump last July, the Commerce Department would have to sign off on specific licenses for sensitive AI technologies, such as advanced chips like those made by NVIDIA, before financing deals could be inked. So that'll be an interesting thing with this. Basically, we are offering money to buy our AI equipment. If we want you to buy our AI equipment, and this is where we get into the stupidity of the layers and layers and layers and layers of bureaucracy that are being created around, AI exports. Basically this idea of we want to sell the world our AI equipment. Well, not really we want to sell the world our AI equipment, but that doesn't mean you. But to get other people to buy, we'll provide financing, but also that doesn't mean you. But maybe China should buy our equipment, or they shouldn't buy our equipment. Maybe they should buy some of our equipment. Again, it's a bit of a disaster. Financial support from EXIM would include insurance and loan guarantees for medium-term transactions and direct loans and loan guarantees for long-term deals, the documents show. It was not immediately clear which countries and companies would benefit from the new program, but the move shows the Trump administration continues to see U.S. AI exports globally as critical to winning the AI race against China. Yeah, well, we already lost. We already lost. Sorry. Don't know what to tell everybody. So now they're going to try to throw money around. And so think about this. The federal government is going to be propping up sales of U.S. AI equipment and things internationally at the exact same time we have absolutely redonkulous IPOs coming down the pike, and that just seems bad. So anyways, again, normally this would be a nothing burger with a little bit of bacon, a little bit of avocado, a little bit of garlic aioli. You'd be like, you know what? I didn't think I wanted a burger today, but damn, this is a damn fine nothing burger. Normally this whole process is fine. It's fine. My concern right now, that's all. Like you look at the whole SpaceX that IPO, right? That IPO just rips out my soul. It disgusts me to the core of my being, right? This $2 trillion IPO that is absolutely and abjectly ridiculous. But then they got the NASDAQ apparently to agree to fast track SpaceX into like the NASDAQ 100 so that people who have retirement funds and people who have index funds will basically automatically buy this SpaceX dog crap stock because it will already be part of the index fund. So normally being part of the index funds, right, a company IPOs, and then they're supposed to prove that they're stable. They're supposed to prove that the valuation makes half an ounce of sense. So think about this with companies like, BuzzFeed came out. BuzzFeed was much smaller, but BuzzFeed came out at $10 a share, right? BuzzFeed was trying to argue that they were the future of media, and their stock did that. Right? So you wouldn't want BuzzFeed to come out, say that they're future of media, immediately put them into an index fund, and then all hell break loose because they're not, people don't actually want to buy that stock. And so the issue that you have, like with the SpaceX IPO, is they're coming out with this absolutely ridiculous IPO that I don't know, maybe it makes sense on Mars. It doesn't make sense on the United States. But then with that, again, they're fast tracking to be part of the index fund so that when they're in the index fund, all of these people will simply automatically buy equity in the company simply because that's how these index funds work, right? If they have a $2 trillion valuation, their chunk of that index fund is going to be so massive, their percentages of that index fund is going to be so massive, it's going to spur a hell of a lot of these automatic purchases going on in order to try to prop up this just back crap, insane garbage of an IPO. And so you see that kind of thing already happening. And then you see the federal government coming out and saying, look, we're going to come out with cash so that other countries can buy our AI products. And this just seems like the most miserable propping up of abject financial fraud I've seen in my life. But anyways, that's just one man's opinion. What do you think about this? What do you think about the export bank providing loans, loan guarantees, insurance so companies in other countries can buy our AI products? Does this make you feel comfortable? Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and they're on Apple Podcasts. Link is in the doobly-doo. Also down there is a link to my LinkedIn account if you want to follow me with the other stuff that I do. With that, see y'all later.